everyone, and welcome to the last show of the day. Boy, we have been streaming all weekend since Friday, not just me, but pretty much everybody that's in this 2024 Vegan Health Bundle. And we're here today to tell you about the bundle, but also to give you a little bit of value because we have some of the contributors here that didn't get a regular slot on Chef AJ Live just because I can only do 50 shows in 10 days. I am human after all. And we wanted everybody to have a chance so that you can meet them and find out what they have in the bundle and what they like about the bundle. But I said, hey, if we're going to do a multi-chef broadcast, let's give some value. Tell me what your favorite kitchen tool is. So I'm going to go first. But basically, the bundle is amazing. My favorite thing in the bundle, there is no favorite thing because everything's good. But the thing that I'm enjoying right now is Dr. McDougall's gut health course, just because I'm a science nerd and I'm a person that has a sensitive stomach. And also I'm a person that likes to absorb content more by listening or watching a video than necessarily reading. So that's what I'm enjoying. My offering in the bundle is a course I did with Lissa Maris that we sold for $197. And actually we still did up to the bundle. It's 6.5 hours of video. It's called Make It Raw, Make It Cook, where we do a series of classes where we do different ethnicities, cuisines, Mexican, Italian, and some of the same ingredients, but her version is raw, my version is cooked. And I did a bonus video on the Goodman peanut chews that everybody couldn't wait till August for the recipe for. So that's my contribution. And my favorite kitchen tool, there's so many, but if I had to pick one thing for anyone to get started, and this is whether you're raw or cooked or whatever, is these little mini choppers. And so I have two of them because, you know, Tupperware, it tends to be a little bit more expensive. It's also smaller. But even though I have the top of the line Breville, you know, I don't want to dirty a knife and a cutting board and bring out the food processor for little jobs. So when I have something like, you know, maybe just a few walnuts that have to be chopped or garlic, for example, I love this little tool because it makes it so fine. And a garlic chopper can be very difficult to clean with all those holes. So I really love this. One year I got this for everybody for the holiday. And they also come in bigger sizes. Now, this is actually much cheaper. This was only $29. And we use this to chop my dog's carrots. And it's the same thing. It's the pulley system. They never seem to break. And, you know, for things like a little onion. So this is my favorite kitchen tool. So next, I would like to introduce Chef James Sant. I'm sorry he didn't get a shot on the show. He's like an extraordinary, he's like a real chef, like he should have chef by his name. And he's going to tell you what he has in the bundle and what his favorite kitchen tool is. Please welcome Chef James.
Hi, Chef AJ, and I'm glad to be here. And this is a great bundle. I've been doing these with Chef AJ from the beginning. As many of you may know, what I have in the bundle this time is Vital Vegan for Every Season. I have a culinary academy, plantfoodculinary.com, where I have over 3,000 students around the world studying with me, plant-based, whole food, plant-based, and raw in a fusion. So we do gently cooked vegan and a lot of raw vegan as well. And it's all about food as medicine. And they go live with me at least twice a month throughout the year. And so I've decided that there's a lot of people that have wanted to have access to see what it would be like to go in these live sessions with me, doing seasonal, spontaneous things from the CSA box, from the farmer's market, from my own garden. I forage a lot, things like that. And so I came up with the idea of doing it twice every season of the year. There's 8 segments to this workshop in the Vital Vegan for Every Season. People will be able to tap in and watch what my chef students get to experience, which is how to make incredible gourmet ethnic cuisines from that CSA box and have fun with it and make the kitchen experience very fun. So that's what I have in the package. As far as what I love in the bundle package, there's way too much to choose from. It's really hard to say. But I do also, as Chef AJ said, love the McDougall because I'm so immersed in chefing and all of the food stuff. I really nerd out on getting more of the nutrition kind of science stuff. And also Rick and Karen Dina also used to teach with me at Living Light, and I love their stuff. So I've been checking out both of those. But then all of the incredible recipes also are fun to peruse. It's just great. You know, I don't know why anyone would not want to have it. One great favorite tool that I have in the kitchen, if I was going to grab one, I didn't see that message from Chef AJ until just right before we came on live. So I ran down and just thought, that one, because I have so many I like. This tool here, if you've ever seen one of these, if you're making a salad dressing really quickly for dinner, you just grab a mason jar, and this thing is a whisk that when you press down, see how it spins when you press it down? So you put all your ingredients in your mason jar, stick that in there, and whip it up. And you can very quickly put together a salad dressing. And it doesn't a lot of stuff messy to do, but I got Joseph one that has the little lever on it. So you don't have to sit and dole a chef knife as you're pressing your garlic. I love this company. Joseph is so clever in it. I think back 15 years ago when I was taking this journey, if I had something like this in my hands, this is what I tell people, this is amazing. For $49, I can't even imagine where I would be today on my journey if I had this much wealth of information for $49 in my hands. I was just desperately grasping for anything back then, and eventually went to Living Light and studied with Sherry Soria and became a teacher, and then finally the director there, and just learned along the way. But the exponential growth and the speed with which you can take that journey, the leap that will tease you forward in all the nutrition, the wellness, the meditation, yoga, all the benefits of an alkaline diet, everything you need to know to embrace whole food, plant-based, and why you shouldn't have fractionated oils and processed salt and processed sugars, and how it will change your life and heal you and take years off your life, is all within here, within all of this stuff in the bundle. So it even for people that a lot of the people that follow me are vegan already. I say, share this to the people that you know that aren't vegan, because this is a stepping stone to get them to change their life. And just tell them, just go in and play. Send them the link and say, just start looking through here. And they'll be teased enough to just buy it, because for $49, come on. Any one of them, like my course, is worth $295 right there. And after Sunday, people are going to have to pay that again to get into the Vital Vegan thing. But right now they get it for only $49. So come on, it's just a no-brainer that this is just one of the best things you could do to take that leap in 2024 into optimal health. And that's what I tell people. Sometimes you just need an incentive to go and take that plunge and start exploring. So if you haven't taken the chance to click a link from one of these presenters you're seeing here and just peruse, even if you haven't decided to buy it yet, click that link. That just takes you to the page where you're going to scroll down all through all of these incredible presenters and looking at the power of the knowledge that you're going to get in this bundle. It's just amazing. It really is. And
I agree with you. And that tool that you showed, does it have a name? The salad dressing scraper?
yeah, it doesn't. I just went through that when I was on another live, and I know it's on Amazon. And what I can tell you is if you are on Amazon, if you go to Plant Food Chef and type in my name, I have a storefront. I put all my favorite kitchen tools in there. And it's in there. I really should look up the name of it so I can tell people that when I just send my students, I say it's in the Amazon store, and they all go there because they know my store, but I know you can find this on Amazon. That's where I originally got it about 6 years ago, and it's always been my favorite.
That's cool. Yeah, you did an excellent point that your course is worth 5 times more than the bundle. So you don't have to like or use or need everything in the bundle. We try to have something for everybody. We have raw food, we have cooked food, we have doctor's contributions, we have yoga courses, things like that, coupons. But yeah, clicking the link doesn't mean you're not going to buy it. You can just kind of look at it and look at the depth and the breadth.
Yeah.
Okay, so whoever holds up a kitchen tool that I see will go next. Whoever holds something up, okay, Tracy from Tracy's Real Foods. Tell us about your bundle contribution, your favorite kitchen tool.
Yeah, so I'm so excited and honored to be part of this this year, my first time doing the bundle. And Tracy's Real Foods, we actually sell clean convenience. So I'm all about the recipes and about cooking every day, of course, but a lot of people need that step in, and a lot of people need a little convenience in their lives. And so that's what we provide is clean, whole food, plant-based foods. Now, so when I first became vegan, I was childbearing age. And so I was reading all the nutrition information and found out about the greens and calcium and kale especially. And so I was like, okay, I need to make this palatable. What is this stuff? And this was back in 1990, by the way. And over the years, I have found out that what I do is I just love to, I take the curly kale or usually I usually use the curly kale, just your standard green kale. And I get a big pot of boiling water, and it's called parboiling. But, let's make it easier. And I have this tool. This is a spider strainer, and I got it at Target originally, but I know, of course, they're on Amazon too. But I'm following Dr. Greger's instructions and other doctors to just parboil and cook my kale for like 2 minutes. So it's really easy to strip the stems off the kale, chop them up into pieces. Sometimes I'm in such a hurry, I just want to have this kale on hand, and I just don't even tear them into too many pieces. I just do big pieces in there, put it in my big pot of boiling water, and use this to tamp it down into the water. And then I set my timer for 2 minutes, or just watch it, because it's just going to turn a beautiful, vibrant green. And then I scoop it out. And guess what? That water, you could use it for other things now. You haven't dumped it out into the sink. So it's green, you could use it as broth. You could parboil other vegetables in it. A lot of times I'll follow up with my broccoli in there after I've gone to the store. So when I found when I parboil and kind of prep my veggies ahead, put them in the fridge, they're ready to go, and I can just throw them in a pasta dish or in a salad or anything. And so I'm all about prepping ahead. So that, and then my other one is my handy dandy lemon squeezer. So that's great for just taking out the seeds. A lot of people have these, but a lot of people don't have these. And I always show these in my classes. I'm a Food for Life instructor. I've been certified with them with the PCRM since 2005, one of their original instructors. So I learned about clean eating, following Chef AJ over the years, following a lot of obviously Dr. McDougall, Dr. Furman over the years, and learned so much about the food that I wanted to experiment with recipes and then, like I said, create products, because we need them. A lot of people just, really want some goodies sent to them, because we're all in the kitchen. Everybody's eating this way, is definitely cooking. But guess what? It's so nice to be, get some cookies in the mail, right? So these are my cookies. This is my, which is like a peanut butter fruit sweetened. The cookie itself is sweetened. These are my double chocolate, and so they're sweetened with dates and raisins. These two, the carrot and the chocolate, and my gingerbread cookies actually are made with lentils. So all whole foods, of course, no oil. And so my deal with the bundle is I've got an ebook in there, and I'm giving out some of my favorite recipes, especially from my book that recently came out in 2023 with Glenn Mercer. And guess who did the foreword? Thank you, Chef AJ. And so some of the recipes my everyday favorite recipes from here, my mayo, for instance, and my easy peasy cashew cheesy sauce. Those are in the ebook. And then what to do with those things too, how to make a coleslaw. So it's all about the sauce. And that's what a lot of us fall short is we want the comfort foods. We want to feel like the creaminess of foods, and we want to learn how to do that. So, so that's in my ebook contribution for the bundle. And also, great deal on Tracy's Real Foods. So if you buy the bundle, you will get the ebook, which inside has a code which unlocks amazing savings for everyone. So I've already had lots of people taking advantage of this. So what you're going to do is, my book is also included on this, but if you pick out 4 items, so we have our cookies, we also have our burger patties. These are super popular. These are whole food plant-based. It's just my answer to the Beyond and the Impossible, which are just the same as meat nutritionally almost, except with cholesterol. These actually have everything you need in them. So they're great. They have all the whole grains and legumes and tons of veggies. And guess what? Kale. So, getting that kale in. And then I have AJ's favorite, my granolas. These are raw. So I do have some raw food products on there. I think Lissa would like those too. And so what you do is you buy, pick out 4 items, and guess what? 1 is free. But beyond that, what I'm doing is just throwing in my favorite products. These are my spices, my vegan spices. So my Sunny Parm. So that's, convenience factor #1, and it's made with sunflower seeds. And I like to use sunflower seeds because I'm allergic to nut seeds, and some people for other reasons. So whole food seeds. And then this is my chicken-free seasoning. So this I use every day for seasoning, soups and tofu and, everything, and just some convenience. So we're all about that. And so these you actually do, when you use that code, you get these thrown in your box for free. So yeah, so it's a really good deal, and super happy to be involved, really excited. So I guess that's it. Yeah, I'm just and everything that I love about the bundle, every time I click in there and look, I just find something. I get lost in there, and just want to try the recipes. And I've dove right into the hand salad ebook from Melissa, and amazing. Like, that is so easy. And so if you have a dehydrator, definitely do that. And then I love doing the fascia flow. I was watching AJ's show the other day, and Darina Burton was showing, and I've loved her recipes for years. And then I'm like, oh, she's so multi-talented. Now she's doing fascia flow. And I'm gonna definitely take that up and start doing that in my own routine. I really recommend that that you look that up. So just like Chef said, it's such a great deal. Like, you're getting such value just for that $49, and you're getting all these new people to follow. And that's what I'm excited about too, is just getting part of this, and opening up new adventures and meeting new people, and like I said, following them and learning from them. Everybody has a great story too. That's what's cool, is everybody has a great story that they share, and you get inspired. So it's all about that. That's what we need, right? To keep going with our whole food, plant-based eating, is we need to be inspired, and we need to, get new ideas. So this is perfect. So thank you so much for having me.
Thanks. And hang out, because maybe we'll all get to chat together. Somebody hold up a tool. There you go. I see Joya from the Easy.
All right.
Easy.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chef AJ, for doing this and for having me here. I am so happy. Like you said, choosing one thing that I'm loving about the bundle is almost impossible. Choosing one tool was also impossible for me, because I'm all about the tools. I've got 8 tools in my contribution to the bundle. It's called the Easy Breezy 8. 8 whole foods and 8 travel tools to lose weight on the road. So I'm going to just share real quickly my whole kitchen. This is my travel kitchen, and it includes the steamer that collapses flat like this, and it opens up. You can see it opened up on the on my website. I've got Amazon links to all of the tools in the book, and I do the greens the same way Tracy was describing, in 2 ways. Actually, when I'm on the road, I put them in the steamer. I put the little water in the bottom, put the tray, slice the greens, also slice a red onion and slice a couple mushrooms, and then put the top on it, steam it 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And at the end of it, I can take the vegetables off the top of there, and the bottom has a broth, a really delicious broth, a pot liquor, as you would say, Chef AJ, as my grandmother used to say, a pot liquor. So I drink that. And when I'm at home, I do a similar thing in the Instant Pot, those same ingredients, a bunch of greens. My days start with a bunch of greens, a red onion, some mushrooms in the Instant Pot with a cup of water, or 2 cups of water if I want more pot liquor, for 0 minutes. I learned that on your show too, Chef AJ. 0 minutes. Put it in They're quickly, they're crisp, they're delicious. And then to make a complete meal with those vegetables, I can put hummus. I make homemade hummus and I travel with it when I can. I'm going on a trip tomorrow to Connecticut and I'm going to be able to take my homemade hummus that's oil-free, mix that, weigh it. I have 4 ounces of hummus is a full protein for my lunch. So 10 ounces of the vegetables, added to those steamed vegetables, some crunchy raw vegetables, like some chopped cauliflower or some broccoli slaw. I got broccoli slaw that I'm taking with me from Trader Joe's, which I love to shop at Trader Joe's in the US, but it really is a fraught situation. And I warn people who want to be optimally healthy to be very careful in Trader Joe's. They have some great things, great values. For example, my favorite source of protein is this high protein tofu, $2.69 in my town for a pound of tofu. So that's 4 meals worth of protein for me, and it travels very well. So I'm all about traveling, having just the individual items to create meals and eat them and prepare them for myself. So the thing about the bundle, I have kind of a long bundle story. When I first became aware of bundles, when I first went whole food plant-based in the very end of 2019, and I was kind of yeah, maybe and I think I did buy a couple, and the idea wasn't as exciting to me as it is now. This is my second year participating in this bundle, and it's so wonderful, and there's so much wonderful stuff in it. But the other thing that I recognize now about bundles like this is that it corresponds with one of the steps. In my first book, in my bundle, the last year's bundle, I put my first book, The Easy Breezy Whole Foodie, opt out of the standard American diet in 7 steps. And one of the steps, step 5, is savor the magic. And that involves savoring not just the magical changes that were happening in my own body. My blood pressure plummeted, my weight was falling off, my brain fog disappeared. I was feeling so wonderful, but also studying and consuming resources from people like all of you. I'm happy to meet all of you today, to be here with you are all new people to me. And there's 150 of us in the bundle or something like that. And we're only scraping the surface of what's out there in the world. And the inspiration, like Tracy was saying, we need inspiration. And that's what's so exciting about this whole bundle process and bundle offering. So as far as what I love in the bundle, I love all the recipes, and I want to check out the hand salads, and I want to take a cooking course, and I'm going to get to all of that. And it seems like a year is a long time to explore all of that, but I know it's going to go fast because there's so much stuff. But the stuff that is about feeding inspiration is what really has grabbed me. And one of the first things was Raquel Brown's book, For Fork's Sake. I wasn't familiar with her. The book was awesome. I just started reading it, couldn't put it down, read the whole thing, loved it. And my absolute favorite thing about it is her acronym HAPPY, to correspond with SAD. Rather than sad, eating the standard American diet and suffering from the standard American diseases, we all are happy, which stands for healthy and plant-powered. Yay. So yay for happiness. Yay for this bundle. Yay for all of you, for all of us. Thank you, Chef AJ, for this opportunity.
Oh, thank you. It was so nice seeing you in person too. We're going to have another live conference hopefully in July. Hope you can make it.
I hope so too. Yes. Thank you. And thank you. That was at the conference. The first conference I went to was where you invited me to be in last year's bundle. And thank you. Thank you.
I'm so glad you did it. Thank you.
Yes.
Whoever shows a tool first, I call on. I saw Lisa just a little bit before Rick and Teresa. So Lisa Rice. Lisa was also at the conference too. She lives close enough to come again.
Oh yeah, I really loved the conference. I have a little laryngitis. I started Bundle Week with a little laryngitis. But I did a live with Macro Val, who has a book in the bundle that has a lot of all her remedies are food-based remedies. And so I've been drinking some tea with turmeric and raw garlic and raw ginger, and it's bringing my voice back. So I'm starting off telling you one of the things in the bundle I really love. And in terms of, and there's a lot of things, and I'll share with you what those other things are. But in terms of gadgets, like all of you, I've got a lot of gadgets I like. I'm like, well, let me see, what do I use most often? And one of the things is not fancy. It's a NutriBullet, because like today I was making a recipe and I needed 3 tablespoons of oat flour. So I just put my rolled oats in here. I use it to make millet flour. I use it to make sauces. I don't know what I do without this thing. It's probably the 3rd one I've been through because I use them a lot. I also really love these Japanese mandolins. I go to the Clement Street Farmers Market every Sunday and I get fresh, organic, locally grown purple cabbage and white cabbage. And I make a broccoli, cabbage slaw every week. And it's just so easy to do it with this. And I get my kale and my greens. So those are I think I use those the most out of everything. And then in terms of the bundle, gosh, well, I was really blown away to see James' course in there. I've already signed up for it. I'm really excited about Dr. Furman's. I haven't taken a good look at that yet, but I'm a big fan of his. Because I love, like all of us, love to cook delicious whole food, plant-based food. Of course, I'm like plowing through everybody's cookbooks. And today I made Lauren Bernick's spinach artichoke dip in a bread bowl. And the bread is made with potato and whole grain flours.
Oh my God,
And
that's incredible.
It's so good. It was so, and here's the thing, I'm not really a baker. Like I can cook without a recipe, but with baking, I need a recipe. This one was so easy. It doesn't require any yeast or kneading or rising. It's just a quick bread bowl that you make for the dip. And it's really good. My husband and I, David and I, have been noshing on it all day. This morning, because I'm still recovering from my laryngitis, one of my favorite contributors, I loved her book last year. I was so happy to see she had another book this year, is Julia Dunaway, her Japanese cookbooks. I love Japanese food. So today I made her still cut oats with shiitake mushrooms. And I recently did an interview with Dr. Greger. And in his book, How Not to Age, he talks about the ergothioneine in mushrooms and how we should eat mushrooms every day. I'm like, mushrooms for breakfast. I have a dish now that I can have for breakfast. AJ, I made your peanut chews and I can't keep away from them. I have to invite some friends over to eat them, although they're nutritious, so I guess it's okay. I didn't have enough peanuts, so I used half peanuts and half peanut flour, which Lauren Bernick talked me into getting for something else, and it actually worked fine. So it's a little bit of both. And then I made Vicky's from the Ann Arbor Vegan Kitchen, has these really delicious cookies that have raspberry jam, and I use the Hue date sweetened chocolate chips. So these are really delicious. And then today I made James Sant's cheesy sauce, which you don't even cook it. You just put it in the Vitamix and it cooks in the Vitamix. So I'm over the moon about the recipes. My contribution, almost forgot, is Around the World with Lisa Rice, 22 Plates for a Plant-Based Planet. And it's recipes from China, Costa Rica, India, Tunisia. It's just a collection of recipes. I've been sort of evolving over the years into whole food plant-based versions to try to convert my friends and family, and just bringing all the same flavors. James and I were talking about this today, that really you don't miss anything, right? We all know this. The secret is using all those herbs and spices and flavorings that people like from their traditional dishes and making plant-based versions. And then they feel satisfied and they don't feel like they're missing out. So that's why I made my ebook. And I'm excited to just dive into more of the fitness as a health coach. You know, I work with Dr. Matthew Letterman and Dr. Alona Pulde. So the work I do involves diet mainly. It's the food, right? But also moving our bodies and sleep and mindfulness and nature. And I feel like this bundle and the bundle last year and this bundle has so many resources for that: yoga, fitness. So it's a great tool, like James said, for someone who just who's getting started. they buy this bundle for $49 and they are set. So I'm going to get it for probably a lot of my family members.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. Makes a great gift. I mean, it's not around the holidays, but you never know. I love the way you cut the peanut chews. It's a longer bar, but it looks beautiful what you did.
Yeah, and I didn't have the peanuts, so I just sprinkled some of the peanut powder and a little date sugar on top.
But it looks beautiful. It looks
Thank you.
beautiful.
They're
Yeah.
delicious. I can't keep away from them though.
You know, I was going to say, even if you didn't come into the bundle with laryngitis, we're all going to have it at the end of the week anyway, because we're
I
doing.
started that
so
way though. I'm
many
like, how am I
lives.
going to get through the week?
Oh, that's funny. Well, thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you, AJ.
Lisa Rice, a very favorite starch of mine, rice. All right.
I know
Rick,
I married someone so I could get that name because
it's a great name. It's a great name. So don't be afraid of rice. All right. Rick and Teresa Starr. You know, everybody here has actually, except for Ellen, I think, has been on my show before if you want to find out more about them. But what is your favorite tool and what do you have in the bundle, Rick and Teresa?
Well, we each brought our favorite tool. Go ahead, since you
Okay, so this is a French fry chopper. So you got the blades in up here, right? And then you put the potato on there and you tap it down a little bit, and then you just boom like that, and you've got perfectly shaped fries that you can
use in the air fryer.
use in your air fryer, or you can season them and bake them, and so it makes perfectly great fries. I did about 10 potatoes in 5 minutes yesterday doing this, so
Wow.
very quick. And Teresa
So what
made
we
some
made with it, so we had family coming over, and we just made like au gratin potatoes, but we did the red pepper cheesy sauce with made out of oatmeal, and we just kind of made a little French fry casserole with the cheesy sauce. Super easy, cooked up super fast.
really
And
good.
we steamed the potatoes first. And of course, I have to show my favorite. Lisa is the same
Same
as
as
yours.
Lisa's.
It's the NutriBullet. And the reason I picked it is because I use it every day. Like I
Same
have
here.
tons of gadgets, but this is one I use every day for date paste, cashew cream, butternut squash, this cheesy sauce. I mean, it's just something I use all the time. Onion gravy, there's just no end to what I can use it for every single day. We even took it to England when we went on a trip over there. We packed it in our suitcase because we wanted to make sure we could have smoothies every day. So we just packed it in the suitcase and off it went. So
Yeah.
let's see. Well, as far as the bundle, it's so hard to choose. So many amazing
Very
things.
cool.
We love, well, of course, we love McDougall because we started back in the early 1990s, like Tracy, and there wasn't much out there back then. So McDougall was one of our go-to people. We got recipes from him. And but then again, Chef AJ, you have a course on there. Lisa has a course on there. There's so many courses and recipes you could cook all year long and never get to the end of the recipe. So we love that. And the name of our business is Whole Food Plant-Based Adventure. And the reason we picked that name is because we want people to see whole food plant-based as not a drudgery. A lot of people are like, oh, I have to do this. My doctor told me I have to eat better. And it's such a fun adventure. And so if people can see it that way, you're cooking vibrant, bright colored foods and the aromas and if you have an adventure mentality, you're going to really enjoy it because there's so many incredible recipes and just a whole wonderful lifestyle that awaits people. So with that in mind, the Whole Food Plant-Based Adventure, our contribution was a course just a simple course to help people get started, because that's what was missing for us when we first got started. There wasn't a lot out there. So do you want to tell about our?
Yeah, it's just a 5-video course on getting started with whole food plant-based, and it talks about some of the science and then does some demonstrations, some cooking demonstrations on a few recipes. And then it also talks about some self-coaching, because when you make a switch like this, it's a change, and any change usually requires some sort of mental gearing up. There's a social aspect to it. There's how you self-talk. There's a lot to it. And so we addressed some of that in this short course. And then we have one other offering in there
Yeah,
as
another
well.
effort. Well, we're both coaches, so we feel like people need to learn how to coach themselves. Not everybody can afford to hire a coach, but if they can learn some good tools and strategies, they can coach themselves. So that's why we put that in that course. Then speaking of adventure, the second offering that we have is called the Whole Food Plant-Based Global Adventure. And what it is a lot of international cuisines. Basically, I've always loved to cook. So even way back when we were first starting and there wasn't many recipes out there, we found that you can take a recipe such as maybe a rice bowl, right? And if you know the different typical foods and spices for each of the different cuisines, you can make the same food, taking rice and tofu or something, and then depending on the spices and the added ingredients that you put into it, it can be a whole different international dish, right? And so the spice guide, we call it the Global Adventure, just includes a list of 10 different ethnic styles of cooking, and then all of the different spices that would go in that type of cooking. But then it also includes for when you're eating out at your favorite ethnic restaurants and you want to know what's good on here, what is whole food plant-based and what is not. There's a lot of places you can go get really good food that is whole food plant-based compliant, but there's also a lot that are not. And so knowing and having an understanding of what I can eat and what I don't want to eat, and then being able to make wise choices. So that's what that one includes, as well as some recipes and some meal plans. But the bundle, we can't even narrow it down. I mean,
There's a lot in there.
we love.
I don't know if you've counted how many recipes there are there, Chef AJ, but I'm guessing 1,000. I don't know.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Believe it or not, it's over 2,000.
2,000. Okay.
Well, luckily, people have a year to download it because it could take that long to go through it. I've never seen a bundle this big, and I've been doing bundles probably for 10 or 12 years now. I remember when I first started with bundles, it was Black Friday with No Meat Athlete, and we were so excited. 7 products for $97, and now like 150 products for $59. So, it's pretty.
And I went through and made a list of some of the topics, if you're smoothies, a lot on smoothies, raw vegan, sweets. There's a lot of great ideas for sweets. There's a lot
That's
of
my favorite. There's so many dessert books without sugar, oil, and even salt.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's a lot of international, some stress management, a lot of salads and dressings, gut health, meal planning, inflammation, weight loss, and all oil free, just really, really great content. One of the great things, you made that compilation recipe book that kind of had a lot of contributors to the bundle who we just all got together and made a recipe book, and that was pretty cool. I think there's 70 recipes in there.
There's 70 recipes, all photographed. It's a 108-page ebook. So that is only going to be in the bundle. We'll never be able to sell that because there's 70 people wrote it. So who would we give credit to? So if you want the compilation book, I put a new recipe in, a lemon blueberry cornmeal muffin that's nowhere else. So, that's a pretty good book.
Yeah, we loved also, there were some things for kids, vegan kids cook or helping your kids cook. I think it was Dr.
Nikki Davis,
as well as Margot Freitag. And they have some great things for helping your kids be able to learn how to cook this way and make it a lifestyle from their early years. So we thought that was really cool.
And Kim Murphy from the Simply Plant-Based Kitchen, she has a book in there called Plant Powered. It's 250 pages of just talks about the SAD diet, and talks about some of the myths behind the whole food plant-based diet.
And that's a great book for people starting out, that kind of thing. We all have friends and family who we'd love to share this with. And so I think these really basic things that help people catch the vision of it are so valuable.
Yeah, really easy read there. So we just love it. It's been great to be, we've made a lot of new friends here doing this. And
I know that's my favorite part is we connect the collaborators, and some of them have become such great friends from being on each other's shows. And we do try to listen to the audience, instead of just having a bundle for kids and a bundle for yoga, we put a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and people did ask for kids stuff. So it was nice that you mentioned that. So, and even if you're not a kid, the recipes are still good for grownups.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. And I wish I would have had that when we had our kids were young. I mean, now they're all grown, but when they were young, that would have just been so powerful to be
Yeah.
able to have all of these resources for kids. So
So
thank you, Chef AJ,
yeah.
for putting this
Th-
together. It's a
Thank you.
privilege.
an
to
No,
be part
it's
of.
really fun. It's so fun to see it come to be. It's like it's stressful a little bit to getting everybody's stuff together. But people were submitting like midnight the night before. It was like, oh, but everything's in there. And I don't know if any of you guys have the Ninja Creamy, but Lissa's husband Nate wrote a book for the Ninja Creamy. So I am very excited about that one because other than Kathy Hester, I really haven't seen a vegan Ninja Creamy book, you know, or one that used whole foods. So I'm very excited about that and to
Is
try.
that what it's bundle?
Yep, it's in the bundle. It's
All
Nate,
right.
Nate Maris wrote it, so make sure you check that out. Okay,
Sure.
so now it's going to be whoever I see first between Connie and Ellen. Whoever holds their product up first goes. Okay, Connie, you're next, and please join us and tell us what you. A couple of people mentioned your product, and it's funny because I just received a text from Janet, who is somebody who was interviewed for your project. And she said that she was just talking about you, like, why don't I have you on the show and talk about your product? And I'm like, well, she's on right now.
Oh, that's very sweet. Well, you know what I've loved most, and the reason I decided to do this second bundle this year is because of the great love and caring you and Lissa show us. You make it so that it's fun. And I really appreciate that. So thank you, Chef AJ. Now, my favorite tool is so simple. It's a really good slotted spoon, but every day for lunch, I do a big pot of greens and veggies as part of the lunch. And I love being able to scoop them out for serving with this spoon. But the reason that I bought it is it has a hefty handle. So it's great for really mixing things that are heavy in bowls and getting them mixed well. The product that I have is called You Are a Miracle. And what it does is follow 6 of my clients through becoming whole food plant-based, their main challenge, and how they might overcome that challenge. So it's a little different than a cooking show, but really valuable because what I've learned, I'm a change coach and I've been helping people restore health and lose weight naturally for over 30 years. And what I've learned during that time that's so wonderful is that the difficulties we have hold all the gold. So when people come to me or me and my husband, we both do this work, and they're in the midst of cravings and urgings and what's seemingly out of control, they begin to see that that is a gift in their lives that's allowing them to learn how to connect with their deeper wisdom and how to follow actually even the body's wisdom that will always give us an answer if we stop and relax long enough to ask a question. So, for example, often after a meal, I will sometimes want one more little thing. And so I'll ask my body's wisdom, should I eat something more now? And usually the response is, no, have a glass of water. And I always follow whatever I get. And what's so great about it is in having the glass of water, that little urge to do more goes right away. So I love what I do. And this bundle has been amazing because when I really got involved with, first it was macrobiotics many years ago, then it was Ayurveda, then it was live raw foods, and then it was Joel Furman, Eat to Live. And I'm so grateful to him because he really got me on high nutrient eating through that book. So I love his infection protection offering, and also Dr. McDougall. I love all the whole food plant-based doctors because they bring the verification of the science behind the value of what we do. We know that living it, we know it in our core. But to have science verify it for people who aren't involved yet, I think plays a major role. And I was listening to Nutmeg Notebook Tammy Kramer go through the bundle on her live show. And she really inspired me to learn to make Lys's wraps. I have a dehydrator, so that'll be easy. I never knew much about them, but I loved what she showed. And I also appreciate the cooking for kids. Margot and Nikki Davis are offering. I think that's beautiful and so important. I would love to see the food change in the schools, and it is changing so slowly. I appreciate that. What else can I tell you?
How long have you been plant-based? Actually, you know, if we have time for another round of questions, that I would love to hear from the contributors how long they've been plant-based and what made them go plant-based.
Yeah, well, I've been plant-based over 30 years, and what made me go was health. I had a very large fibroid tumor that I tried everything with. And when I went to Optimum Health and had wheatgrass and all raw foods, it shrunk from the size of a cantaloupe to an egg in 2 weeks. So I knew I could continue with eating to really solve that issue. And then most recently, about 2 years ago, I had a very minor mini stroke, and that's when I became SOS free. I didn't really know about SOS free before that, Chef AJ. I had no inkling of it. Why, I don't know, but I love it. Food tastes so much better being SOS free, and I never would have guessed that. So that's my story.
Well, thank you, Connie, and I look forward to watching your videos. Janet is watching live and saying they're wonderful, and she was interviewed in them. And next we have someone who I have not met yet, the first one, Ellen from Ellen's Healthy Kitchen. Welcome. Tell me a little bit about yourself since I don't know you.
Thank you, Chef AJ, and everyone here. I am glad I waited until the end because I've just been hanging on every word, and I've made lots of notes already. So I'm a full-time musician.
Ooh, what do you play?
Well, I'm a trained classical pianist. That's what I went to college for. But I morphed into learning to play guitar, and then I started performing concerts for children. I have 2 education degrees, one in music education and performance and one in early childhood education. And over the course of the journey of doing this music, I've narrowed the niche down even further, and I primarily perform concerts in Jewish settings for Jewish children, and I write all my own material. So that's what I do full time. That's what pays the bills. However, I got into this world, the whole food plant-based world, starting with you, Chef AJ. I was at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition in 2011 for a year, and I did that program, discovered vegan. I didn't know whole food plant-based from a hole in the wall, but I sort of experimented with, I dipped my toes into the vegan world. And during my time at IIN, my sister, one of my 3 sisters, had a heart incident and ended up having 2 stents put in. And at the time, she knew I was in this health coaching program. She called me and she said, "Okay, Miss Smarty Pants, tell me what to do now," because the doctor sent her home with a ton of medication, but no instructions for lifestyle changes, food changes, nothing. Just take your meds. So I said, go home and read Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. Go home and read the China Study, and check out Chef AJ. And she went full tilt into moving from being a balabusta, which is a Yiddish word of a chef, of a cook, into being completely 100% whole food, plant-based, gluten-free, because she, like me, has celiac, and oil-free. And so I thought, well, if she's doing it, I'm going to do it. After all, I'm in school. So I started doing that, and I loved it. I loved it. However, I had a little blip, and I like to tell about my blip because I want people to know that blips are okay, and that we have to, wherever we are on the journey, we just have to accept where we are, be present, and just do what we can to deal with our circumstances. So my blip was, it's a good blip, actually. I met the love of my life, and he was not plant-based. So I started eating back again the SAD diet, and I also started having a cocktail every night at 6 o'clock. And after about 18 months, this little petite person that I am put on 20 pounds. And I just knew that that had to change. So that really, at that point, it was in 2019, I really started to pay attention to whole food, plant-based, no oil, gluten-free. And ever since then, my life has completely changed. I lost 10 pounds, just melted off of me. And that was all I needed to lose. For me, I was very fortunate because I'd already lost some of the weight that I had gained from the other part of my life with Michael. And then I started to want to do more and to teach and to let people know. I want to stand up on the rooftop, to tell you the truth, and tell people about this and say, what are you doing? Why are you waiting for this tsunami of chronic disease to come down the pike? Get smart now. But you know, you have to just meet people where they are. So anyway, I decided to make this book. Was it last summer, I think, when I was invited, and I wasn't really sure what to do. And then I realized that my entryway, my gateway drug, if you will, into whole food plant-based, what no oil, was oatmeal. I had listened enough and read enough of Esselstyn and Dr. McDougall, and you know, all the plant-based people. I've seen so many people on your show, Chef AJ, talk about the power of oatmeal. And so I realized that that was what I needed to do. So I started having oatmeal every single day in one form or another, mostly for breakfast. And I loved it so much that I thought, okay, that would be a great subject for an ebook, because I like to say to people, if you're not sure where to start with oatmeal, start with breakfast. It's easy. You can do whatever you want the rest of the day. We'll get there eventually, but start your day, open your day with oatmeal. Whether it's cooked, whether it's raw, whether it's baked, whether it's overnight, doesn't matter. And so that became, it was obvious to me that then I needed to do this. So this is my cover. It's the Rise and Shine, 20 delicious Rise and Shine morning oatmeal recipes from Ellen's Healthy Kitchen. And they are very delicious, I have to say. And there's a whole slew of different kinds of recipes. There's sweet cooked oatmeal, savory cooked oatmeal, baked oatmeal, overnight oats that are raw, that are not cooked. And there's something for everybody. So I tell people, start with oatmeal. That's a really good place to start. And the other thing I want to mention for anybody who's listening and saying, well, I need to lose weight, but I don't really know what to do. I can tell you that I lost weight, and I was absolutely that person who woke up every day. I'm a little ashamed to say it, but it's part of my story. And I weighed myself every single day. And I stopped weighing myself about 2 months ago. I realized, I woke up one day and went, oh my God, I haven't weighed myself. I didn't even think about it. And that has been so freeing for me. I don't weigh myself because I don't need to. I have stayed at this weight that I got to now for a little over 2 years. And all I can say is I wake up every day and I'm like a kid in a candy store. Ooh, what am I going to get to eat today? What am I going to get to prepare today in my kitchen? So I love this way of eating. I love food. I love this community. And you have given me and all of us, you and Lissa have given us such a gift by connecting us, because it's a little bit lonely when you're the only one doing this and the rest of your friends think that you're a lunatic. And when you go out for dinner with your friends and you bring your own homemade peanut sauce made with peanut powder and coconut aminos and a little maple syrup and a little sriracha, your friends are like, what are you doing? Why don't you just use the soy sauce that they give you, or the peanut sauce? And I say, well, take a look at that peanut sauce that you're eating. It's full of oil. I'm not going to do that. So you have given us such a gift by connecting all of us and making me realize that I'm not so alone. So that's my story about my ebook. My tool, it's hard to choose, but I'm going to show you something on my iPhone, which is an app that I use, and this is what it's called. It's called Paprika. This 3 must mean it's the 3rd iteration of it. I used to have my recipes everywhere, on my phone, on my laptop, printed, in a book somewhere. In my reader, I had them everywhere, and it drove me crazy, and I needed to find a way to organize them. This is such a great app. It was very inexpensive. I think it was either $5 or $20. It was one of those, but you have it for life. And I have it on my iPad. I have it on my phone. You can do it on your laptop, but I don't need to. And it is fantastic. You can categorize things. It just makes things so easy. So that's one of them. And the other one is this, which I showed earlier, which is my julienne tiller. And I never in a million years knew that you could make sushi at home. Oh my goodness. Now I make sushi at home with this. You don't really even need it, but it's kind of fun to make your own little, shreds of cucumber and carrot. And so I have a million other tools. I love them all. They're all my favorite. I love the one that you showed, Chef AJ. I have that because of you, the one that with the pull. I have the little one. And what I do is I really don't love having to mince garlic all the time, and I use a lot of it. So I put a bunch of it in that, do the pull thing, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then I take it and I put it into little ice cube trays and freeze it, and then pop them out and put them in a Ziploc bag. And then I have garlic for at least a month, if not more. So that's also one of my favorite tools. And then, let's see, I told you what my contribution was. I told you my favorite tool. I told you the bundle is nothing short of amazing. The first person out of the gate who bought the bundle on Friday was my sister.
Aww.
It was very sweet. She's the one who had the stents. And she wrote to me, she texts me 20,000 times a day, but she has texted me a lot since Friday. And each time she's like, oh my God, I can't believe this recipe is amazing. She's so crazy about this bundle that she's starting to go and sell it and let it, she's giving people my affiliate link so that people can buy it. And I can't say enough about it. There's gold in them hills is all I can say. And if you're even hesitant for a moment, banish being hesitant and run and get it, because it's going to change your life. It's your doorway into making major changes.
That's great. Thank you. Well, would anyone else like to share anything else? And does anyone watching live on either Instagram or Facebook or YouTube have any questions for any of the contributors, either about the bundle or about their journey?
I have something to point out, Chef AJ. On the tool that I was talking about, it's called a stainless push whisk. If you just type that in on Amazon, these will pop up. Okay.
That is really cool. Can you froth like cappuccino with that?
Completely. Yeah, they spin very fast, and they come in all. I bought a set that comes all into real tiny ones, and this is the largest one. So there's in different sizes for different jars. So, and you can froth it. You can whip things. You can do aquafaba into a meringue with it. It's very powerful. So works great.
That's cool when the electricity goes out.
Yeah. Or for camping. I like to camp, and in a travel bag with your traveling tools as a chef, it's just a good thing to have. So
yeah. How long have you been plant-based or vegan, James?
I have been vegetarian since I met my first wife was in college, and she was vegetarian. So she converted me from a meat eater from Alaska to being vegetarian in '82. And then I went completely raw vegan in 2009 when I got injured to expedite the healing, because I understood alkalinity and getting my body to a pH balance. And that started my journey from vegetarian to vegan, so that it's been a while, however many years that is, 14 years, something. So, yeah.
Nice. Are you 100% raw?
No, I'm high raw. And that's why my academy is the best of whole food plant-based cooking and raw in a fusion together. And then there are recipes that are raw and recipes that are just gently cooked, but there's a lot of fusing back and forth. And I teach people to saute with stock instead of oils. You know, we make our zone broth once a week, always, with all of our scraps. So we have that broth, always a good, healthy mineral broth to cook with, things like that. So no, I don't consider myself 100% raw at all. I'm a high raw. I love legumes, and you know, I sprout everything to life, so I make them even healthier than most people do. But I like the role that they play in a good, healthy, well-balanced diet, you know. So
Here's a fun question we may as well ask. What does everybody eat in a day? Mine's boring. It's the same thing. So don't even ask me sweet potato and broccoli for lunch, whatever for dinner. I don't care. But you're a chefy chef, James. So do you eat the fancy stuff or do you eat the simpler stuff?
well, I don't eat till 11, number one, because I do intermittent fasting. It just works for my body and keeps me perfect. I don't have to diet or anything. And then I usually start out, I will just have like whole fruit. That's what I like to start with. And then I'll give that time to digest before I move on to having, I sometimes even in the wintertime when it's cold out, I want to do like a hot porridge, like brown rice porridge or oats. And by the way, I roll my own oats, and you should do that. Get an attachment for your KitchenAid and hand roll your oats. Then you can sprout them and make sprouted raw oats that truly are raw. So I do porridge like that, and then you know, usually something lighter in the mid-afternoon, and I don't eat dinner. I try to eat dinner between 5:30 and 6:30 so that I have that longer period for the intermittent fasting. I don't eat late. I try to do it earlier, but I have a lot of fun with dinner. That's usually where I'm alchemizing for my courses and taking things from the farmer's market. And I live in a shared community of people that all do gardening and stuff, and they all love to come together and see what James has been working on in the kitchen, because I'm always alchemizing.
Do I remember correctly? You live kind of near Mendocino?
I do. I live between Mendocino and Fort Bragg in the kind of the Casper area up above Jug Handle on the coast. So beautiful area and wonderful property with a bunch of tiny homes on it and everyone shares gardening and stuff. So it's a really fun place to live.
Have you ever been to the Stanford Inn?
Yes, definitely. They know who I am and I know who they are. I was teaching, you know, right up the street from them as a director. And so all the vegans around here know each other. So yeah.
I was asked to present there, so maybe we can meet each other when I do end up going there.
Oh, you definitely have to look me up when you're here. It'd be fun to come see the gardens here. I love the gardens at Stanford Inn. We'd have to go down there and see. And if you're in Mendocino, you also want to go to Fog Eaters Cafe. A friend of mine has a cafe, beautiful vegan cafe that I would say is even tastier than Stanford Inn. They are just exquisite. You got to check it out. Fog Eaters Cafe.
That's so cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to tell us what they eat in a day? People always seem to know, but I always wonder how that's relevant because just because you eat something in a day doesn't mean I might not like what you eat, you know?
I'm happy to tell you what I eat in a day.
Okay.
You already know I start with oatmeal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If it's not oatmeal, and it's usually oatmeal at least 6 out of 7 mornings, I'll do a chickpea omelet. Or this morning I decided to get wild and crazy, and I made, in fact, I wanted to show it. I made something from Chris Kimball's, one of his ebooks, which is a cabbage, and it called for pear and figs, and I didn't have them, so I used apples and dates and cinnamon.
Nice.
And then I had some oatmeal breakfast cookies with it. And it was delicious. So that's what I usually do for breakfast. For lunch, I almost always have, as Dr. Joel Furman has taught us, a salad as big as my head. And I try to make it a couple days in advance. I always have leftovers, maybe from the night before, but I always have a gigantic salad. And I'll put either chickpeas in it that I make in the Instant Pot, or I'll make this, what do you call it, the crispy chickpeas, or black beans, or some kind of a bean in it, and just tons and tons of a rainbow of vegetables. And then for dinner, I either have something that I made the night before that's left over. It's usually something, a starch, a vegetable, and maybe even 2 vegetables. And then I try to make extra so that I have it left over for the next day. And that's pretty much what I do. And a lot of sauces. My sauces are what epic. Sauces, I think somebody mentioned before, I can't remember who, but sauces for me are what makes all of my food, well, maybe not my oatmeal, but over the top. And the sauces plus California balsamic, I mix them together, and that game changer.
Nice. Yeah, California Balsamic has a book in the bundle as well as coupons in the bundle. Plant Strong has a $10 coupon that you can just try their new burgers. Anybody else want to take a stab at the?
I would love to. Yeah. I start with oatmeal too, usually if I'm on the road, some oats and seeds and fruit and vegetables in a mix. And that's what I've got in the creator's cookbook, easy breezy, bright meal, I call it. It has tahini measured on the top and sprouts and berries and oats. I want to look into rolling my own oats. That sounds really exciting, and sprouting them. Yay. The way the bundle is helping me ramp up, and all of us ramp up everything, is just so exciting. We are spiraling up and up and up and up. And then my lunches and dinners are pretty much the same. They're a vegetable, 10 ounces of vegetables, cooked and raw, a protein, either beans or tofu, or half beans, half tofu, or some seeds, and a starch. So rice, potatoes, yams. I find that yams steam really well and easily on the road, and they're easy to find. Oftentimes I'll find these kind of convenience stores / grocery stores that you wouldn't expect to find Whole Foods in, but they'll have a pile of potatoes and some carrots and foods in there that I can pull and make full meals with. So I steam some, I cut some up raw, I roast some when I'm home, and then mix them together. And sauces, I love sauces. And when I can find sauces and I have time to make sauces and I can get a jar and get that thing and spritz up some sauces, that'll be fine. But often I'm just creating what I call a self sauce, like my meals, my lunch and my dinner today. Tahini, a half ounce of tahini, and about an equal amount of mustard. And it feels like a sauce. It's delicious, and it's the fat I need. Fat. Forgot to mention fat for my dinner and lunch too. So yeah, I call them a salad-ish bowl because it's kind of a bowl. It's kind of a salad. It's just a bright meal. So I love it.
Well, that sounds delicious. Wouldn't it be fun if we could have a year-long show with just everybody cooking everything from the bundle? It would take, 2,000 recipes, I think 6 recipes a day. Anybody else want to take the famous "what do I eat in a day" question before we say goodbye to the nice folks? Well, Rick and Teresa, since you live together, do you eat the same thing every day? I mean, you know what I mean? Do you guys eat the same breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Or do you guys do different things?
Breakfast, we do the same thing every day. We may put something different on it, but it is oatmeal. Again.
Yeah, he puts everything on his. I like berries. I just don't. Yeah, I don't like to mix apples and bananas. I don't know. It's a crazy thing, but just lots of fruit and
lots of fruit on there. Some walnuts, some flaxseed, chia sometimes. Put it all on there, and
I love blueberries.
Cinnamon, always some cinnamon. But yeah,
and we started doing that back in early 1990s because I was having TIAs, and somewhere we read that's good to clean out your arteries. The oats are really good for that. So we started that. I try to remember to get a lot of kale at the grocery store. We don't do this every day, but I heard from Esselstyn that lightly steaming kale and putting some balsamic vinegar on it and just chewing it is really good for the endothelial cells. So, which is very good at preventing TIAs and keeping our inner arteries healthy. So we try to do that, and just kind of as a snack for lunch.
For lunch, we're not in the same place for lunch, so I usually get a salad, big as my head. No, but a salad, and I'll throw some fruit on one side and some beans on the other side. So it's a big mix, and mushrooms on the top, and that's it, and a banana, something like that, and then. What do you have for lunch?
And I do about the same. Just make myself a big salad and sometimes have sweet potato with it or something like that. It's just a big salad with some beans, just keeping it simple. And then I think at dinner is where we get creative and try to make something fun, kind of
Yeah.
a whole food, plant-based comfort food, or
International. We'll try a
yeah,
lot of
we love to
international
try
stuff.
to do a lot of international
Mm.
stuff. So
And I love grabbing some greens, whatever, spinach, arugula, kale, and pouring some, some flavored balsamic on it. It's always really good.
and then also we like to have a plate of veggies just sitting around. So when you get the
Cut
munchies,
up.
you just snack on those and it feels so good. You just feel clean and healthy. And when you feel your blood sugar drop, you just eat those veggies and you feel so good. So it's a great pick me up.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so funny how, I think we put California balsamic on the map, those of us that eat this way, especially those that are limiting or avoiding salt, because he had never heard of this whole world. And now that's like that, those are the festivals he goes to, the conferences he goes to. He is very happy for the support that the community has given him. And it's a great product, and it's not one I think you can easily make yourself. I've had a few people do vinegar demonstrations on the show, and I've tried, but they never come out quite as good as his. So thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Anybody? James is holding something.
Yeah.
I don't think he's
So
doing-
I just wanted to mention, I'm going to be on live with Ellen later in the week, and I will do that because I'm intrigued by how much she loves oats. I'll show this when we're on our live. This is my oat rolling attachment. That it's called the Messerschmitt Flocker, and this goes on the front of the KitchenAid, where it has the attachment thing on the top. And I can roll all my own oats. You can also roll, by the way, barley or wheat or anything that goes into a flaked form. You could put through this if you don't have gluten problems, but it's beautiful for oats. And I also roll buckwheat through here. I put buckwheat groats through here, and it makes these wonderful tiny flaked buckwheat that also makes a wonderful cereal, just like oatmeal. And buckwheat is a great prebiotic for our gut as well. So I'm down in the kitchen now because I'm finishing the soup that we're going to have for dinner. But thought I'd point that out. That's what I was talking about in rolling your own oats. Really fun.
And what kind of soup is dinner? I'm having soup for dinner too. I'm having smoky butter bisque, and I'm having
This is, I guess. Well, actually here. Let me pick this up. This is a white bean Tuscan kale soup, and I'm going to go out here in my garden. See that? And pick some collards and kale and bring them in. You can see the wheatgrass sitting right there. I'm going to be juicing that tomorrow with someone from Australia at 6 a.m. in the morning. But I will go out and grab the collards and kale and put them in the soup, and then we'll be ready to eat. I don't put that in until right before I serve. So that's what we're having for dinner.
nice. Yeah. And so actually it's almost dinner here. I don't know where everybody else is on this Zoom, but if anybody else wants to take a shot at the question before we wrap up, please feel free. And if you guys have any questions for our contributors, please put them in the chat. Yeah. Okay. Let me just add, Karen, does it matter which bundle person I sign up under? I mean, it matters to them because we can only give, they earn their commission if you buy from their link. We're happy when you buy the bundle. I don't put my link on my show. And this is an unusual show because there's 7 people. And so, unfortunately you have to make a choice, but maybe pick the one, or just close your eyes and just click a link. But you don't, I mean, you could buy 7 if you want, and then they all get credit, but I'm kidding, of course, but it doesn't, it matters to the person, but the bundle is the same bundle. It takes you to the same website. It's delivered the same way. It's just, they each have, it's kind of like a PIN number. They have their own unique link, and they get credit for when you purchase it from them. And whoever you purchase it from, please know that at 11:59 p.m. Sunday, March 10th, the bundle's over. And when you write us at 1 minute after midnight, we have to be fair. And that's how we're able to do this, because it's just a period of 10 days and we only do this once a year. I may do other bundles a year, but not this one. So, and not the one with this is the only bundle I know that is completely oil-free and that has many of the wonderful plant-based medical doctors in it. So anyway, anybody else want to give it a shot?
I will say something, Chef AJ, because I made the same soup that James is making today. And what I put in it, James, a little extra, was a red pepper and corn. And then I served it today. I've had it for 3 days. Today was the last day, over potatoes. It was really good.
Beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Great.
want to say that I can relate to like everything that everyone here said. I just love hearing everybody's origin stories. Connie, I started out macrobiotic and then I went raw. Ellen, I eat oats every day. You know, like I think that I just love being part of this community, and like you said, we've got this incredible support here. So thank you, AJ, for bringing us together.
Yeah, Melissa and I were talking today about ways to like just have more like involvement with us and doing like monthly things. And so, yeah, more to come, more to come.
Great.
Anybody else want to speak, or should we just go to dinner? Maybe some of you are on the West Coast. I think Rick and Teresa, I think you're West Coast. I mean, East Coast, aren't you?
No, we're
No.
in Utah.
Okay,
So-
you're West. So, well, we're all West Coast. One time we did this at the end of the bundle. It was like really late, and we were all in our pajamas. We may do that again for one last push if you guys enjoy hearing from us. So, yeah.
I just want to say I'm in San Diego, so it's tacos for dinner, like a lot of days.
Oh, it should be tomorrow though. It's not Tuesday. I have to.
It doesn't matter. It's just like, it's so easy. I keep the filling in the fridge, you know, like black beans and quinoa and salsa and a bunch of spices. And then we just heat up the tortillas and, you know, like days like today, that's what we're having. You know, Mexican food. Yeah, there you go. You're ready.
We do tostadas every Tuesday, and what I do is I batch prep the filling. In my case, it's a rice-based filling, and then I just pull out from the freezer, you know, every week. And usually we have it a couple times a week because it's my favorite.
Yeah. The batch cooking is the best, like being prepared for those days when you don't have a lot of time to prepare a meal. And I'm all about that. So
You're all
about-
making me hungry.
Yeah. Well,
But the-
I think we've been on for a while, so maybe we will go eat unless anybody has any final thoughts. We appreciate you guys watching all these extra shows, and there's many shows. If you just click on the link of the bundle, I am guaranteed that those contributors are going live on their platforms with each other. So there's no lack of support or material to watch either in the bundle or related to the bundle this week. So thank you, everyone. It was nice to meet you, Ellen, and nice to see the rest of you. I wish I could give each of you an hour, but boy, like see with 120